Hello, everyone, and welcome back to It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day. I haven't said that in a while. So glad you guys could join us on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. Going to bring in our friends over on IG so they can be part of our conversation. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. I'm so excited as we're kicking off 2026 to be back with my friend, the best-selling author of the book, It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day, Allie Dalsimer. We're back with season 3, our final season as we're wrapping up her book. So glad you all could be with us. We're now live on the Amazon side with It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day. I'm going to type you guys in a welcome message over there. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. Make sure you guys hit that follow button either here in this corner or down below. You also will see the book. Again, It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day. You can get it in print, the Kindle edition. Of course, you can also get the audiobook as well. Allie and I are back with our third and final season as we're going to be wrapping up her book and also ending this season talking about some of the reflection and takeaways for you guys. But Allie, how you doing?
Well, hey, Cyrus, I'm doing great, and I am super excited to be back here with you as well.
I was so excited about this, and it was so funny. Ellen and I actually have already had a great show before this show. We had a great conversation, kind of catching up and talking about some things before this. But Allie, today's message I was saying to you earlier is going to be, I think, a great way to start this year about when it comes to intention, but also not living with regret. We're going to get into that. Before we do, though, you and I need to do a little bit of catch up for our audience because a few things have happened for you since we last were together when we wrapped up season 2. You had a great season of your podcast with your son, Kyle Dalsimer. So what's your process? I know you guys are already working on another season. Talk to us about that experience and what it was like for you to see the response to season 1.
Oh, yeah, thanks. And, thank you for being a key guest on our uh, inaugural season. It was amazing. It was an incredibly wonderful experience, both because I was able to work with my son and he and I collaborated very easily, very smoothly, and we had a lot of fun doing it. But also, we had amazing guests, and
Yeah.
I learned so much. I just learned
Mm.
so much, and it was interesting going through the season because I really learned. I think we both did. Both Kyle and I did. We both learned a lot about how to interview people and to talk with
Mm.
folks. And by the end of season 1, I feel like, yes, like we got it down. And actually, to be honest, we have already filmed seasons 2 and 3. And
Oh, wow.
season 2 launches January 29th. So the last Thursday of the month. And I got to tell you, it's going to be so good. Our inaugural episode is just going to. I think people are going to be really really interested in it. So, and we have some really
Awesome.
unusual guests too. Like, a lot of the guests in season 1 were in the. Obviously, we interview all creatives about what they do and how they do it. But a lot of our guests were, they were authors and actors and musicians. And this time we've got like celebrity photographer and opera
Mm.
singer. I mean, it's just so cool. It's so cool. I've
Nice.
learned so much.
Nice. Love that. Kelly Dillard, hello to you over there on Amazon. Thank you so much for the follow, Kelly. I appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed the show today. I hope you also, if you haven't gotten it already, you get Allie's book as well. So I want to talk about this. I was saying to Allie before we went live here that I was so excited about her. And so what's your process? Mainly because I knew she would be great at this. And Allie, I think this is going to tie in perfectly with today's message because when you and I were first talking before this show kind of began, podcasting wasn't something that was necessarily on your radar. So, what was it like for you in the past year to kind of see your own transformation when it comes to hosting a podcast?
This year has been truly pivotal for me. And it's not just the podcast, but it's all sorts of things.
Okay.
And using the podcast as an example, as kind of a lever, maybe. Um, when you first said to me, "You should do a podcast," I was like, "No, no one wants to hear me talk about anything." And I also didn't really have an idea. I didn't have an idea. I sat down at one point and I was like, okay, I'll try to do a podcast. And I talked at the
Mhm.
camera for a few minutes. I was like, okay, well, I'm bored. Like, I'm bored watching me. No one's going to want to watch this. But then I had this idea. And I shared the idea with my kids, and I shared it with my son Kyle, and he expanded that. My original idea was to talk with other artists, authors rather, about
Mhm.
the process, because I'm asked a lot, like, how do you go about being an author? What does your day look like? Like, how do you come up with your ideas? It's people are always asking these questions, and then I was interested in other people's creative processes as well. And so Kyle thought maybe we should just broaden the whole thing. And doing this podcast has really just opened a whole world of interest and excitement and opportunities. And like I
Mm.
said before, I've learned a whole lot. I've learned a lot because I'm meeting electronically, obviously, but I'm meeting all kinds of amazing people. These people are creative. They're the best in their fields, and they're doing what they love and following their passions. And it's really been a gift. It's just been a
Mm.
gift.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the great thing. That's a connection to today's message, Allie. So we'll go ahead and turn there. For those of you who have Allie's book, today's message is found on page number 85. And Allie, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'm
Oh,
going to
okay,
switch
sure.
places with you. Yeah.
All right. All right, here we go. All right. One day, your life will flash before your eyes. Make sure it's worth watching. Gerard Way. I read a study a couple of years ago that summarized a survey of the elderly. Each respondent was asked to list their biggest regret. These four were the most mentioned, and no other answer came close. One, not asking for help. Two, trying to make bad relationships work. Three, dwelling on mistakes and shortcomings. Four, worrying too much about other people. These answers share one commonality. They are all manifestations of fears that led to avoidance, which resulted in lost opportunities. For number one, afraid to show weakness or incompetence, going it alone too long. Number two, afraid to admit to ourselves or others that we failed, afraid to be on our own again. Three, this is actually the definition of regret. Number four, afraid of negative judgment, feeling insecure. As the English poet Ted Hughes once wrote, the only calibration that counts is how much heart people invest, how much they ignore their fears of being hurt or caught out or humiliated. And the only thing people regret is that they didn't live boldly enough, that they didn't invest enough heart, didn't love enough. Nothing else really counts at all. So don't let fear stop you from investing your heart. Whatever your passion, social justice, disaster relief, education, it is up to you to work around impediments to find new and possibly unorthodox paths leading you to your destiny. Being true to yourself, being truthful with yourself, being your true self, and fighting hard for a future that evokes positivity and satisfaction are what counts. You can do this.
Yeah, I love that. Love that last part. I'm going to come back to that. I want to give some shout outs real quick, Allie. Hello to you, One Truly Me over there on IG. Daybreak 197. Hello to you. Uh, is it S Vedas? Maybe. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. You can let me know in the chat. And also, Popley Buzz. Hello to you. I appreciate you being with us over there, and I appreciate you guys coming in over there on the Amazon side as well. Um, Allie, I love this message, and again, I thought it was an appropriate one. Of course, you couldn't have known when you were putting the book together that this would be how we would kick off the season, but I thought it was really appropriate because I think there are two messages that definitely come into play. One is fear, one is regret. Talk to us about those two things for you. Have they been interchangeable for you, or do you feel as though they both have been things you've had to make sure you didn't give into?
Yeah. So for me, the whole book is really about the ebb and flow of life. It's about the yin and the yang, and fear and regret are just, the quote earlier on is, fear and regret are twin thieves that rob us of today's happiness, right?
Mm.
And so fear and regret, they go hand in hand. And the other thing that I think that goes really well in this chapter is overcoming that. There's the
Mm.
fear, there's the regret, then there's the overcoming it. But the fact is, if you're afraid and you allow that fear to prevent you from doing something, you know, the end result nearly always is you'll be sad about that. You'll regret
Yeah.
that you didn't do it. We don't regret things that we try, even if we, screw it up royally,
Mhm.
because we gave it a try. We gave it a shot, didn't work out, whatever, move on. But if you don't try it, you're left with that, what if only,
Yeah.
like, gosh, what could have been? And that's just horrible. That kind of thing just, it's that Paul Simon song, it'll eat you up inside, right?
Mhm.
And so for me, it has been really central to, I talked about this past year being a pivot year for me. And you, Cyrus, know so well that I was really, let's use the word trepidatious rather than fear.
Yeah.
And I actively decided to translate that emotion into excitement, because biochemically it's the same. Fear and excitement are the same in your body. It's how your brain chooses to interpret what's going on that makes the difference. And I actively like leaned into my discomfort and went ahead with it. And through doing that, I now am coming out of this year into facing a new year, and I have no regrets. I have no
Yeah.
regrets about anything I did this year. Did
Yeah.
everything work out, butterflies and pandas? No. But was it a really good year overall? Absolutely, 100%.
Love that. Daybreak 197 says, "I love your book title." And hello to you, Grown Man
Thank
Speed. Good
you.
to see you over there on IG as well. You guys joining us on YouTube. Appreciate the hearts over there on YouTube as well. So appreciate you guys. If you guys are new to this series, it's okay not to be fabulous every day. There were 2 previous seasons. You can catch the replay on YouTube, or of course on the platform that you're on. So make sure you guys look for the playlist of that. Then there's another thing that you mentioned here, and I think it's really interesting. It's how you ended this particular chapter with those 4 words, Allie. You can do this. Were you speaking to yourself or to us?
Yes. Yes. Well, the book started off as life advice for my kids, right? So
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
originally was speaking to them.
Got
And
it.
and so the message was to them. You can do this. You can do this. Go for it.
Mhm.
But when I published it, obviously that message then is for anyone reading it, and really
Mhm.
for everyone, because everybody really has what they need to succeed inside them already. And I define success as doing what you love, with whom you love, and how you love it, right?
Yeah.
Like that's success, like being happy with who you are, what you're doing, and who you're with. And and I really believe that. So you can do this. You have what you need already.
Mhm.
Um, but and we've talked about this. We're all the worst at taking our own advice, and I'm
Yeah.
no different than anyone else. I'm terrible at taking my own advice, but
Mhm.
I've really worked at doing that this past year. And
Mhm.
I've gone back to this book a number of times. So when I read it, I read that for me. I'm telling
Got it.
myself that as well.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's for my kids, and it's for everyone out there who is reading this book. Or you know what? If you're not reading the book and you're just watching this, please know that you can do this. You
Right.
really can. You really can do what you want to do. You can achieve your goals and dreams if they're important enough to you.
Mm. And that brings us to me the most powerful line in this particular chapter. And I think this is a great reminder for our audience, and I encourage them to write this down and to reflect on this. Allie, you wrote, and I think this is so big. Don't let fear stop you from investing your heart. And I think that can go for a lot of different things. It can go for maybe that thing you always wanted to do. It could go for pursuing a career you always wanted, or an interest, or a relationship, maybe.
Yeah.
A lot of times we allow ourselves the fear of, what if I don't do it well? What if I'm not good at this? What if I screw up? We allow all of that to kind of stop us. Talk to us about that line for you, because the wording there is interesting. When people hear the word invest, we do realize it requires something of us. But talk to us about how you got to a place, Allie, where you could tell us and even tell yourself that the investment was worth it.
Yeah. I mean, if something's important, is worth doing and is worth doing right. But in order to achieve any goal, you're going to have to work at it.
Yeah.
I even say somewhere, everything we do takes effort. And if you're not willing to invest, meaning you're not willing to put your time, your energy, your passion, your belief into something,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe it isn't something you really, really want. But if you do want it, whatever that it is for you, if it's important, you will find the time, you'll find the energy, you'll find the resources. And that doesn't necessarily mean money. It could mean getting help from people. You know, one of the regrets was not asking for help,
Yeah.
because we can't we can't do it alone sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
there's a network of people who are out there who are willing to help if you just ask.
Right.
And I really believe that if you choose to step forward into your future, whatever your future is, if you choose to step forward into that, the universe really will conspire to help you succeed.
Mm.
And if you're on the right path, it'll feel right. And, you know, it's, you know, those regrets, those 4 regrets that people have, you know, we as a society tend to, um, uh, I'm not sure what the word is, but we tend to celebrate youth and young people a lot.
Yeah.
But the truth is that people who have lived for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 decades, they have a wealth of knowledge and experience that I really think we do a disservice to ourselves by not tapping into, because they have so many lessons to teach us. You know,
Yeah.
it's the old expression, we grow too soon old and too late wise. Well, if you're in your
Oh,
20s,
wow.
30s, 40s, 50s, you know, reach out to someone who's 20, 30, 40, 50 years older than you and
Mhm.
find out what their lessons are. Learn from them and ask for their advice, ask for their help. And you might be surprised. One, I'm sure they'd be willing to give it, because, you know, people want to share, they want to help others.
Yeah.
And you might be surprised how much it helps.
Yeah, love that. Tina Siemens, hello to you over there on IG. Glad you could be able to be with us. You see a familiar face here, don't you,
Hey,
Tina?
Tina.
Allie's,
Yeah.
Allie's with us today. Daybreak 197 says, yes, people make time for what they want, invest the time. Yeah, I love the wording of that. That's why I wanted to bring that up, because I think because investment does show it does require something.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
think
you
a
know,
lot of, yep, sorry, go ahead.
Cher had this commercial like in the 80s or something. And it was like, if great bodies came in a bottle, everyone would have one. Right. It was a
Mm,
commercial for like Bally's gym or something,
mhm.
meaning you've got to work out if you want to, you know, not that any of us will ever look like Cher, but um yeah, yeah. But it's true for life, right?
Yeah.
Investing just means putting in some effort,
Hmm.
whatever that means. And if you want, it's a gigo. What you put into it is what you'll get out of it. I mean,
Love it.
there's so many expressions that all say the same thing. But the
Mhm.
point that is really important in this chapter is that you can do it.
You
You
can do it.
really can.
Yeah. And I think that belief in ourselves is so important, Allie. And I think, and that's where it all begins, right? Believing in
Yeah.
ourselves, regardless of what we think may happen or what others may say, it all begins with us. And I think that is a big thing. Again, everyone, week number 1 of our season that's kicked off today. A great message for us, Allie, for sure. Allie, so glad to be back on camera with you and going through the book. And what I thought about is that what's going to be so interesting, especially on YouTube where we have the playlist, people can go now and be able to see every chapter being discussed. And I think that's going to be so cool to be able to go back and do that. So if you've just now finding out about Allie's book, get your copy for sure. You can get it, of course, here on Amazon in print. You get the Kindle edition. You can get the audiobook as well. Again, it's okay not to be fabulous every day. Allie, let them know how to stay connected with you and also how to sign up for your newsletter.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on all the socials at Allie Dalsimer, and I'm most active on Insta. Check out my YouTube station. I've got a lot of good stuff there, book recs, the new podcast, my series with Cyrus. And yeah, sign up for my newsletter. You can find that on my website at alliedalsimer.com/newsletter. Comes out a couple times a week, filled with positive life advice. And I'm actually going to be making a little shift, and I might even be announcing a new YouTube series there in the very near future.
Gives us something to look forward to. The Real Lady Extreme, hello to you over there joining us from Ohio over on IG. Appreciate you being with us as well. Allie, great to be back with you. Excited about this season. Looking forward to next week.
Me too as well. And thank you so much, Cyrus. And thanks for everybody for tuning in today.
We definitely appreciate you. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.